coming into the head coaching job, like, you got a new superintendent.
Yep.
Like, fill us in a little bit on the background of that, and like, how much money the program, like, you're gonna buy like stuff for, like travel uniforms
Sure.
and stuff like that.
Well, first of all, our new superintendent, Eric Cummings, I met him several times now. Actually, we just had our head coaches meeting Thursday evening. And I will tell you, I think he's very, very athletic minded. I think he really believes that athletics are an important part of the high school experience, just like all other extracurriculars are. So I think he's going to be very supportive. I think he has expectations for me as a coach and the other coaches, which is a good thing.
Absolutely.
But I think he's very, very athletic minded, and I think he's going to be very supportive. As far as getting the stuff for the kids and all that kind of stuff, we have some ladies in our touchdown club that do a really good job of fundraising, and that's where we get the money from. That's the money for the T-shirts and whatever the kids are getting, the lunches for 2-a-days and any clothing or whatever, the banquet at the end of the year. All of that comes from fundraising.
Yeah.
The school can't support that kind of stuff.
No.
They do. Our school does a great job getting the best equipment we can get. Our kids are as protected as anybody. We're using the same helmets as the big guys,
Yeah. Yep.
We don't skimp on that. That's one thing our school doesn't do. But
Yep.
all the other stuff, like you were saying earlier, like the ancillary stuff, that stuff is through fundraising.
Yep.
And we have 3 ladies that run the touchdown club, and they're doing a great job with that.
That's amazing. That really makes your program shine through when you have that great backing behind you.
And it makes the program more special for the kids. When you can
100%.
make them feel like you're being treated a little special,
Absolutely.
they like that.
Oh, yeah.
And they should. They deserve it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, the NTL has changed since the last time you were head coach,
Yeah.
obviously. Troy's now the big guy on the
Of course,
block.
Troy was the big guy on the block last time I was head coach from 2012 to 2015.
But now they're a little bit like more refined and farther down the path.
I think they're more dynamic offensively. First of all.
Absolutely, 100%.
They can throw the ball on you. They can run the ball on you.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
Big.
pretty much.
That's a good program for sure.
Yep.
Jimmy does a really good job.
And what do you think about the competition in the NTL being your first year, like going out and facing all these different teams, Wellsboro, Athens?
Watching game film, I mean, that's really all I've got. And I haven't seen, obviously I go to the home games, but I didn't see some of the away games last year. But watching game film in the offseason and looking to see who's coming back from the other teams, I think it's going to be a competitive league. I really do. I think Athens is going to be, an improved team. I think Wyalusing's going to be sneaky good. I don't know too much about Kawaneski right now, just watching game film for last year, but there's some good football here. Canton's still going to be strong. So, you can't sleep on anybody.
Yep.
It's going to be a gauntlet. And then, of course, we have Hughesville as one of our non-conference games, non-league games, I should say. And, they're always going to be solid, and as is Tunkhannock. We'll play them down there this year. So that'll be pretty neat because I think that's the Fox 56 game of the week.
Yep.
So that'll be a cool experience for the kids.
Absolutely.
So definitely, I think it's a very competitive league. And I'm just excited to see what we turn into.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Now, as a reporter, my job is to because without PAFootballNews.com, they just see what they read in the paper up here.
Right.
The Northern Tier League doesn't get a lot of coverage.
Sure.
And it sure doesn't get much speaking coverage unless you're like Jimmy that makes it far into the playoffs.
Right.
And you go 12-0 or 13-14-0. Like you don't get a lot of coverage like where you can speak.
Sure.
And I think this medium gives the fans that would never ever talk to you in their life, give them a little insight on what Coach Wecker's thinking, and like all the stuff that you said about the school.
Right.
Like they would never hear that from anybody else.
Right.
And I think this is a great medium to get the word out. And the NTL doesn't really have anybody that covers it, so I think this is great for all the coaches and all the players.
And I think anytime we can promote our kids, I think it's huge. These kids are doing the same thing everybody else is around the state. They're working their butts off.
Yep.
They want to be as good as they can be. They're going to go out, starting tomorrow and sweat and bleed and, probably cry a little bit and everything else for the next couple of weeks and then get ready to play football. So, we're no different than the other hundreds of programs. We're doing the same thing. And the kids should get some recognition for it.
Absolutely. And if you were going to say something to the fans, like when the guys that come, the Butchie Hatches of the world that
Yeah.
come every game,
Yeah.
what would you say to them guys when you get a chance to say it right now? You can say
The first thing I'd say is thanks for, you guys supported us for years and years and years, you know, good times, bad times. But I'd also say, you know, I think it's going to be an exciting year. You know, we are pretty dynamic offensively. Defensively, you're going to see a lot of moving parts. I think you're going to see kids flying around the field. What I hope you guys see is we put a product out there on the field where a product that's having fun, being successful, being competitive, you know?
Yep.
So that's what I would say to, you know, the fans that have been supporting us for a long time.
Absolutely, that's great.
Yeah.
All right, that wraps it up with Coach Jamie Wecker of the Towanda Black Knights. I'm Lindsey Bennett. I'm going to try to hit a bunch of the different high school teams up here in the NTL and get coach interviews and kind of predictions of what they think the season's going to be like moving forward. So I'm Lindsey Bennett, and this is Jamie Wecker. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, man, anytime. Appreciate it.
And I'll see you next time. Thank you. This is Lindsey Bennett for PAFootballnews.com.